Feliz domingo a todos. Hoy vamos a hablar una cosita de un libro. This one right here. Okay, so some of y'all may know that I told y'all I just got this book the other day and I don't have time to read it. Well, because I was reading 2 books at the same time. One of them I actually finished is a Spanish book, and then it was like, oh, okay, well let's read another book, because one book I'm reading is like kind of textbooky, and the other one I was reading was for like my brain doesn't explode. The point. So I saw this book maybe like a couple weeks ago somewhere. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Took a picture of it. Didn't think anything of it. A few days ago, went to Target at nighttime. I don't even shop at Target. Let's start there. So I was on the aisle for hair products. Turned to my left. What do I see? This book on the shelf. I said, you again? So I said, let me just pick it up. I'm not, I'll just pick it up, carry it around while I walk in the store, I'll just put it back before I go check out. End up buying a book. So I was like, all right, God, like, I bought it, whatever. I was kind of emotional shopping. We all know what that's like. I was in my feelings. I said, let me just get something what makes me feel good, books. So I got it. And then I get home and I'm reading the comments, the praise for the book. Okay. Psychology Today says, this is a book about shedding regret and gaining perspective. Harper's Bazaar says, would we really make better choices if we could step back in time? It's a book about, Book of Magic says, the author of Book of Magic says, it's about regrets and the choices we make, So on and on and on, you get the idea. I was like, oh, okay. Now I know why I got this book. Because, about a day, probably 24 hours at nighttime before I bought this book, I took a shower, I got out, I was feeling away. I recorded a voice note to myself to speak out loud my thoughts, what I was thinking. I was like, you know what, Latrice? Let me be honest with myself and with God. I'm like, you know what? Knowing what I knew now, why'd I have to tell my business? I was thinking about how the ending of some relationships I've had within the past year, the ending of talking to people, I don't talk to some people no more. And I'm thinking about how those things ended. And I think back to some situations, and I'm like, that made me mad. That pissed me off. Because it hurt my feelings. And I was vulnerable with some people. And I was like, if I can go back, I wouldn't have opened up to that person. I wouldn't have been so vulnerable. I wouldn't have opened myself up so much. I wouldn't have this XYZ. I wouldn't have told this person this information. I would have did all of these things. But then I'm like, Latrice, are you sure? Are you sure you wouldn't? No, you would have probably did the same thing. Because it's the way you set up. You can't even help it. Thinking about how I regret opening myself up to people, how I regret being so honest, being so caring, being so loving. It's like, Latrice, you are set up this way, babe. You can't even help it. And then I think about how God in the Bible talks about having, he wants us to have a heart of flesh, not of stone. A heart of flesh, being malleable, being able to receive, being able to give, having things pass through your heart, right? Good things in and out of your heart. If it's a heart of stone, you can't get in. It's bitterness. Nothing can get in and nothing can flow out. Latrice, you don't want a bitter heart. But I only say those things because my feelings were hurt. And I was like, how could I be deceived like this? How could you play in my face like this? How could you lie to my face like this? How could you do this behind my back? All of the things that had me thinking like, oh, I wish I was different. But no, really. Everything we've gone through, everything we've experienced we are that accumulation. So yes, that person betraying you. Yes, that person lying to you, lying about you, cheating on you, all of the things that happen, just deception, all of that led up to you learning those lessons and becoming stronger, becoming more resilient, all of the things. That's it. So and nothing happens by accident, because I thought it was a coincidence that I saw this book again. I don't even believe in coincidences. So anyway, yeah, I hope that helps somebody. We're going to see what this book talking about. Feliz domingo. Si nadie te ha dicho hoy, esta día que te estoy hablando a ti mismo. Yo te quiero decir a ti que te amo. I want to say that I love you so much, because life be living out here. But guess what? We are going to prosper regardless. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.